The Genesee County Historical Society is hosting a victory party to celebrate the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. Here to tell us all about it, we welcome to the show Director Gary Fisher. Good morning.
Good to be here, my man.
We'll start with a handshake.
Yeah, we'll do it very formally. Since I'm dressed informally, we'll be a little more formal.
No, I like it. You're patriotic today with the hat. And, first off, why is it important to recognize, just period, the contributions of those who have served?
Oh, it's real simple. We don't win the Second World War without Flint, Michigan. Flint, Michigan built the arsenal of democracy, the American auto industry. Manufacturing, we were so far behind when the war started, December 7th, 1941. We had guys training with wooden guns. They were using good humor trucks as tanks. We had a very small army, so when we got attacked at Pearl Harbor, we had to catch up really fast. And the only way we did it was through the manufacturing by the United States. It wasn't just the auto industry, for sure.
But we were at the forefront.
We were at the forefront. And Peter Drucker, the great management consultant, wrote a book about, he studied General Motors during the Second World War and concluded if it hadn't been for General Motors, we don't win the war.
Interesting.
So the Flint connection, the Genesee County connection, the reason we're celebrating is that General Motors was invented, Buick was saved, General Motors was invented, Chevrolet invented, AC spark plug by a guy named Billy Durant, William C. Durant, who didn't quite finish high school at Flint Central High School, but we're still very proud of him, and he invented all of that pretty much single-handedly. Had he not done that and mentored guys like David Buick, Louis Chevrolet, Charles Nash, Walter Chrysler, Albert Champion, we wouldn't have had an arsenal of democracy. So the conclusion we've made is that without Flint, there's no Billy Durant. Without Billy Durant, there's no General Motors. Without General Motors, we don't win the war.
A lot of dominoes there.
A lot of dominoes. We think that's well worth celebrating, and it's the 80th anniversary this year of VE Day and VJ Day.
Well, it's certainly important to pause and recognize that's a lot to consider there.
That's huge.
And wonderful. But so talk about what you have going on as a part of this event.
Yep, so tomorrow, and you can get tickets, I'll say this straight away, at geneseehistory.org until midnight tonight.
Okay.
It's $50 per person. We'll have food. It's at Genesis, I get the name right, it's now Henry Ford Genesis Ascension Banquet Center in Grand Blanc. It's a great facility. We're going to have food. It's tomorrow night at 5:30. Go to geneseehistory.org to get your tickets. We're going to have food, drinks. The Soggy Bottom Big Band is playing, and they're amazing.
Nice.
We also, I just saw Kevin's forecast, and I'm a little disturbed by that, but we're having a flyover, we're hoping, at 6:30. So 5:30 the event starts, 6:30 a flyover by the Screaming Rebels, vintage warbirds, World War II era planes, including a plane that was used in the movie Red Tails about the Tuskegee Airmen. And then we're going to come back into the facility and have a lot of fun with the big band playing. And I'm doing a program on the history of the arsenal of democracy that I'm very passionate about.
You've given us a taste this morning, and it is fascinating.
It is.
To think about. I'm also told to ask you about your victory program. What is that?
Well, that is the whole big picture of this. That's the victory program. That's the event tomorrow night.
That's the name of it.
That's the name of it, yeah. Celebrating the winning 80 years ago, Victory in Japan Day, VJ Day, ended the Second World War. And I think we make a pretty strong case that if it hadn't been for Flint and Genesee County, we might have had a very different outcome in that conflict. So we think it's worth remembering, well worth remembering and celebrating.
Definitely.
So we're doing that.
And then just, overall, why are you so proud to be a part of the Genesee County Historical Society?
Oh, that's a great question. So my family's been in Flint, in the Flint area, for 118 years. My family started working at Buick when Billy was forming Buick. They were janitors at the time, so they were not hanging out with Billy and the boys. But my family, up until last year, I had a family member working for General Motors almost since inception. And I was born and raised in Flint, grew up on the east side in Wisconsin and Cronk Avenue, so I'm a proud Flintstone, very proud of my family's contribution, our community's contribution. And I wanted to make sure that when it came to the Historical Society, we didn't let this stuff be forgotten. It isn't taught in schools. You don't hear about it in college. Kids don't grow up knowing this stuff. And they should. And we love history, but we love history for what it can tell you about the future. How can you replicate that?
Yes.
We want it to be a forward-thinking thing, not just a reverse-thinking concept.
So much to be proud of,
yes.
And it's ingrained in so many families' histories around here. There's more information on your screen for the website. Like you said, tickets still available until midnight. And thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me on.
You guys
appreciate it.
Energized for this event. I love it.